Yankee and the Brit's the place to be. Radio living is the life for me. Airwaves spreading out so far and wide. Keep your FM, just give me that internet side.
Online is where I'd rather stay. I've got a lot of music to play. I just adore a Yankee view. Darling, I love you, but give me a show to do.
The Chat.
The Brats.
On air.
That's fair.
You are my wife.
Goodbye, British life.
The Yankee and the Brit on
air. Yankee and the Brit in the RTM Radio Network. Hey, country Saturday night over here. On the telephone, we have Senor Kyle. Hello, Mr. Bourgault.
How you doing, sir?
Hey.
Just jamming on your tunage over here.
We appreciate that. Yeah, it sounds great.
Oh, my God, does it sound great, man. Who are you?
Who am I?
Yes, tell us who the bloody hell you are.
Just an independent artist from upstate New York, and we appreciate you guys playing us and having us on the radio tonight.
Oh my God, this stuff is fantastic, man. Where did all this come from? Did somebody else get inside your body and bend your fingers and move those strings like that, or is this all your own creation?
Well, first off, I want to say this, that I am not a musician. I'm just a singer. And these songs were all penned down in Nashville, and they were set up to be by a good friend of mine who forwarded me all this music. And I picked these 9 songs that were on the album that you all received, and we took it from there.
Wow, it's some awesome music. Apart from that track number 8 on your CD, you know, me and you have to have words about that song.
Well, the guy that produced my album, he actually wrote that one.
We just about wore that Saturday night song out already because I've been using it to open the show for the last 3 or 4 weeks now.
Oh, that's awesome. I appreciate that. How's Donna's head feeling?
Yeah,
I know that she was pounding against the wall the other day.
So you're from New York?
The Albany area.
Albany, are you under about 6 feet of snow or some of it melted away?
I'll tell you, we got quite a bit. Yeah, we probably got about 2.5 feet in the past week.
Oh, my God. I knew you were up in the northern part somewhere. I used to live in upstate, up there by the Finger Lakes.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And I loved every minute that I was there. I mean, you know, we boated on the lakes and stuff. What a beautiful area up there. And I've been to Albany many times.
Yeah, you get the 4 seasons up here, which I'm sure you know, and it's really neat.
Yeah, but they don't seem to sing as well around there as they do on the records. I know, bad joke.
That's for sure.
Hey, John Chandler from Rubber Duck Trucking said to say hello to you.
Hey, John, how you doing today?
You know that clown?
Yeah, you know that clown?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, I've known John a long time. And he's actually sent me many messages. I sent him a CD, and he's the one that actually tied me in with you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, I asked Donna, I go, how'd you find this guy? You know, I said, who is he? Where'd you come? She says, well, I saw him, and I just asked him to come on a show. I was like, okay, cool. Works for me.
Yeah, that's what I do. I go and drag people in by their ears.
How long have you been doing music?
I've been singing music for probably about 25 years.
Oh, finally!
I lived in Douglasville, Georgia in the early 90s, and that's where country music was revived for me. I grew up listening to country music, the old school stuff with my parents. And back in the early 90s, that's when the new wave of country came in, when Garth came through and George Strait was picking up and Alan Jackson and all those guys. Fell in love with it down there, and then I moved back up here and started singing, but I didn't really have anybody to play in a band with because in upstate New York, back in the mid-90s, there really wasn't anybody playing country music. So
right.
Hey, can you just step about 2 feet to the left? Because your signal's just a little bit out.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, stand on one leg. Put some foil on your head.
Some foil on my head now?
Tin foil, yes.
And then lean over the balcony as far as you can, just short of going over.
Yeah.
So you're from New York?
I'm from New York. That's right.
I hear a little bit of accent there, but it's not heavy, but I do hear, you know.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've lived down there, but I don't think it ever came out of me. Just love the South. I think I was meant to be born down there, but I, just unfortunately was born in New York.
Mom decided otherwise.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm from Ohio, and I love Texas. I'll never leave this place. You can't beat it. The snow is like a half an inch compared to 3 feet.
Yeah. I mean, how often you guys get snow down there?
Oh, geez, I think 3 or 4 years ago we had about 8 inches that lasted about a day or so, and after that we've had maybe a trace, a coating, mostly cold, if anything.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah, because I'm from northeast Ohio, which we get all that lake effect snow off of,
you guys
Erie, Well, in fact, we get the beginning of it, and you get the worst of it after it crosses Erie and over across Ontario, and then you guys get blasted with it.
Would you believe after all that snow, Randy moans and moans about all the mud? And I'm like, you've come to Texas from all that snow, and you're moaning about a bit of mud.
She doesn't know what it's like to grow up with mud up to your knees for all of your life when you're a kid. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I'd love it. I would love it.
I do, Randy, but I'd much rather the mud.
No, I want the hot, heat, dry, the stuff that wrinkles your skin when you're out in it for too long.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been playing, you play your own instruments, or you don't do any of that, you just sing?
No, I'm not a musician, I just sing. We got a 6-piece band right now together. Two guitars, bass, drums, and keyboards. We got a nice solid 3-part harmony with the band, and we're trying to promote the music, the CD Abso-Frequently that you guys just received and have been playing for us.
Yeah, that's nice. I love the looks of that, too. It kind of looks like an old 45.
Yeah, that was the whole idea. I obviously had somebody design that because I'm not, that creative. But when he threw that out at me, I said, I love it, and that's, we're going to go with that.
I think it was Decca that had the red label like that. But it's very cool looking. I mean, a couple people have mentioned how cool the album, or the sticker looks on there. In fact, I just noticed it in the light now. It actually looks like a grooved record.
Oh yeah.
That's why I liked it today. I took a picture of it and posted it online. I thought it was
pretty
good.
that, Donna. Yeah.
Yeah, that's slicker than snot on a doorknob. I like that.
So, cool. What is your earliest musical memories when you were young and had tiny feet?
I'll tell you, the earliest memories I have, and you're going to laugh. I don't even know if you remember who Gene Autry is, but my dad was a huge Gene Autry fan, and every Thanksgiving started the Christmas music. So Gene Autry, of course, played Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. He was the first one to record it. So I grew up listening to Gene Autry, and Rudolph on Thanksgiving morning was the kickoff of the holiday season in my house. And, yeah, so...
Gene Autry's hometown's not far from here.
But I know the song.
You do?
Of course, you have to know the song.
I would think. Go on, I'm sorry.
But yeah. Oh, that's an awesome memory.
Yeah. So we listened to the old school country music. My dad was a big George Jones fan, and Tammy Wynette, and all the old stuff. Waylon Jennings. That was all played in my house, and my parents actually had neighborhood parties, and they would all come over to my house. And we had this one lady that actually played acoustic guitar and sang, and she actually yodeled, and my dad loved it. It was actually my high school principal's wife. So they'd come over to the house, and they'd sit up till all hours of the night, and she'd play and sing, and everybody just have a hoot and a holler time. And that was the start of the love of country music for me. Cause
today you go to jail for that.
Yeah, exactly.
That student teacher thing.
Yeah.
How did she yodel? Can you do it?
Oh, I can't yodel. That would be a big embarrassment to her.
That's what I was trying for.
Was anybody in your family musically inclined in any way?
No.
So
that memory basically stuck with me, and then moving down to Georgia again. You really didn't have much choice but to listen to country music down there in the early '90s, and kind of fell back into me. And ever since then, I've had a love for it, and I looked for years to try to come up with a band to play the music, and finally we did.
Well, all this music in your life, how did you decide to be the breakout singer of the whole bunch?
I don't know. I just always enjoyed it. I drove truck for almost 13 years before I'm in the profession I am now, and I didn't have much to do other than drive up and down what we call the Northway here, and so I just sang in the truck all the time, and got good at memorizing songs, and just looked for a band forever, and couldn't find one, and then again it finally happened. So.
Are you up in the Adirondacks? It sounds like
close. It's close. Adirondacks are about 45 minutes to an hour.
Stay right where you're at. Don't move.
Stay right there.
Stay right here. I got you.
Yeah, you keep driving in and out your signal.
No, I'm sitting still. I'm not sure what's happening with it.
Oh.
That's why I wonder if you're up in the mountains. Maybe there's still snow falling up there in the higher elevations or something.
No snow.
Yeah, John said you were a driver, too. I drove for 20 years all over the place, and I don't miss one friggin' minute of it because the whole damn thing, you talk about Big Brother, forget it.
Yeah. You know, right when I got out, I delivered gasoline. So right when I got out, the whole hazardous material thing and getting fingerprinted and having a background check and all that stuff had just started. And, I mean, I miss driving. I love the guys I worked with, and I definitely miss driving truck, but I don't miss the headaches that come along with it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'd never go back. Not now. I don't know how people like John can stand it all these years and, you know, going from what it used to be into the way it is now. I don't know how they deal with it. I just don't get it.
It is tough. It's like they don't want you to do it. It's like the little guy can't do it on his own anymore. The price of diesel fuel and a bunch of other things, it's more of a headache for him than anything.
If the government would get out of it, anybody could do it.
You bet. That's exactly right.
I mean, that's probably a fine line, really. I don't want just anybody, but you know what I'm saying.
No, of course, yeah. It'd be a lot easier, let's say that.
Yeah, the certain ethnic ones are the ones that worry me. We'll leave it at that.
So Donna, what's your favorite song off the album?
Are you having a giraffe? Eh? Are you having a laugh?
She's speaking Cockney on you again now.
You having a giraffe, lad? We actually opened up the show tonight with that song, and we were both singing it out loud, top of our lungs, and then I was cursing you 5 minutes later.
So if I have you over sometime, you're going to bust out the song for me, right?
Oh yes, dear.
Oh, absolutely. As soon as
when you come up to New York to go skiing, right?
Yes, it'll be the first thing I do is sing that song.
Well, I want to see this.
I'll make it my top priority.
Yeah, that's great.
So who's all the members in your band? I saw some great names there. I was mentioning them a little earlier. These guys, are they all local people or anybody how'd you find them all?
They are local guys. We have 3 new members. We recently, over the wintertime, swapped out 2 of the guitar players and the bass player. Name of the band is called the Bourgault Band, and the members are, on drums, we have Stephen Sini. He's from Troy, New York. We have Paul Broussard on keyboards and background vocals, and Paul is from Glenville, New York. We have George Mosier.
Interrupting him? Stop.
No,
she's being a knob.
As Nickers in the chat room says, play it again, I missed it. That song. And John Chandler said,
I know.
Absolutely. Go on, carry on.
This is how our conversations go half the time, like out the window.
Oh.
But John said, tell him he's got a black Pete for you.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's what I used to drive, Peterbilt, yep.
All right, the hell with the law and the government. I'm on my way.
That's it.
All right, you can finish what you were saying now.
How kind of you.
That's right. George Mosier, he's on lead guitar from Hadley, Luzerne, which is up in the Adirondacks. We have a guy from East Greenbush. His name is John Snyder. He's on other lead guitar. And we have Tommy Hoffman from Lionsville, New York. He's on bass and background vocals. And we have Mark Waldinger, who is our full-time sound guy from Saratoga Springs, New York. You might have heard of Saratoga at the racetrack.
Oh, absolutely. All them places.
Yep.
Have you been up snowmobiling in the snowmobile capital of New York?
No, but I know exactly where it is.
What the hell? Tell me the name again. I can't remember the name of it.
Well, there's Tug Hill.
That's one of them.
And there is, of course, I'm going to draw a blank right now.
What's the place with a gigantic old-fashioned hardware store? Why can't I ever think of that? I can't remember it anymore.
I can't think of the name of it.
They got a gigantic hardware store up there for campers and whatever. Last time, it was years ago that I was there, but they had a frying skillet that was probably like 30 inches across or something. This thing was huge. And I never forget that place. It was the most fantastic little hardware store with the creaky old wood floors and canoes and you name it, man. The place is just stuffed with things. I wish the hell I could remember where the hell it was.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't think of the name. Sorry, Randy.
Talk, Donna, for a change.
Well, every time I do, you blokes keep cutting me up. So, do you have any plans to get out there on stage, or do you already do it?
I'm sorry, Donna, go ahead.
Do you have any plans to go out on stage, or do you already do it?
Do I have any plans to go out on stage?
Yeah, do you go... Come on, help me out here, husband.
Does he go on stage and play in front of crowds and things like that? Is that what you're getting at?
So any upcoming shows? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. Oh, I can't get my words out today. I'm sorry.
Well, what I would like to say is last Friday, which would have been March 2nd, so a week ago Friday, we were supposed to open up for the band Montgomery Gentry when they came up here to Clifton Park, New York. And that show was actually postponed due to the snowstorm that we got. We wound up getting about 18, 19 inches of snow. And they would have been driving up from Nashville, so they opted not to and postponed it to May 17th. So that's going to be a pretty big show for us, getting open up for the national act Montgomery Gentry. They're awesome. They're just incredible.
I'm still trying to teach her how to speak American, because English, you'd think she would know how to speak that, but it doesn't work so well.
That's all right.
No, it's not. Not after being married to her for 3 years.
Well, yeah.
She ought to be able to speak a language I can understand.
Silence the pair of you.
How long you been performing on stage?
About 4 years.
Oh, that's it?
Yep.
So do you still get the jitters?
Oh yeah. Yeah, especially at we opened up for, you remember Charlie Daniels?
Of course.
Yeah, we opened up for Charlie last August when he came up here to Albany. And it was an outdoor show, and it was absolutely perfect afternoon. It was sunny, about 85 degrees. It was just absolutely gorgeous, and it was just an incredible experience. But yes, I definitely got jitters walking out in front of that crowd.
Do all the ladies throw their sticky knickers at you?
No, haven't had that happen yet, Donna.
How many people say that, but yet when you watch videos, there's girls throwing
I know,
panties
there's
and
always
stuff.
girls
I think you guys are
screaming.
hiding something.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, it could be. But those are all the big acts.
Oh, I see.
all right then.
So your face isn't sticky enough yet.
Exactly.
Go on.
Oh, okay. What else do I have to ask?
I'll just bullshit all night is what I'll
Yeah, I
do.
know
So
you would.
if you've got something important to say, you better get after it.
Well, Randy normally wants to know what kind of truck you drive, and it better be a Ford. Otherwise, he's going to have words with you.
Oh,
I hear Dodge coming up.
well, I drive a Jeep Grand Cherokee, actually, 2014.
Nah, I had one of those.
Typically a Chevy guy, but I'm not going to say I'm totally opposed to the Fords, but definitely not a Dodge. I think we can both agree on that.
Well, anything before the 80s, I'm okay with. I don't care if it's a Chevy, a Dodge. I mean, they were real trucks, real steel, big motors, carburation, and now it's sissy-looking things that if you take them off the blacktop, you got to take them to the garage afterwards and get something fixed. Not worth it anymore.
Well, Randy, I'm 45, so when I was in 97, I got my first pickup truck, and that was an 87 Chevy Short Box, and it was my favorite truck of all time, and that wound up getting into a wreck, so I had to get rid of it. But yeah, so that was my favorite truck. From there, it was a Z71, 97 Z71, and then from there, it was a 2001 3/4 ton GMC diesel, and I loved that truck.
Do you like diesel? I'm a gas guy. I don't care for the diesel
You
too
certainly
much.
make a lot of it.
I did like diesel. The only problem with the diesel is that the price got up to about, when I got rid of it, it was at about $4.50 a gallon.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't afford it anymore. It was just ridiculous. So.
Well, I'm still older than you. My first truck was a 55 Ford, but I wasn't allowed to drive it because I wasn't old enough. So
Ooh.
Pop set it out front for sale, and then the next car, my first car when I was in high school, was a 68 Ford Fairlane, and boy, that baby was my favorite car. I'd still love to find another one, but Christ, the price of those now are the same price as a brand new pickup truck. You know, $50,000, $40,000. It's like, you guys are out of your mind. I used to get them for $500. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. You should hold on to them.
I know. I don't get it. Welcome to America.
That's it.
You got that look in your eye. What's your question?
Oh, the look in my eye. Oh, I don't have no look.
Hey,
in
are
my
you
eye.
married?
I am not married.
You're a sensible man. What can I say?
I've tried it twice and it just doesn't work. I don't know.
Oh, hell, I got you beat there, too.
Yeah, Randy's fourth time lucky. You saved the best for last.
That's right. He's all done now.
That's the safe way to look at it.
It's unless you want black eyes.
Exactly. Probably after the show, I'll look like a raccoon.
Yep.
Yes. So I was going to ask you before you blokes rudely interrupted me.
I'm sorry, Donna.
Do you write any of your own songs?
I do not.
You don't?
I do not. None of the songs on that album were written by me.
Do you have a
You gotta have one of the easiest singing jobs I've ever heard of. I don't do nothing but sing.
Well, I'm trying to give credit to everybody else because I've tried to play guitar a million times and I just don't have the patience to learn it. Singing is something, again, driving truck up and down the Northway, I could do that all day long, and it didn't cost me any time. It didn't, it was easy for me to do. But playing guitar and all that, I've just never taken the time to learn it because I just lose patience real quick with it. And but I certainly respect all the guys that know how to play.
Did you ever run across 84?
Oh, yeah.
Did you do it in a cab over?
No.
Oh, lucky man.
Yep.
There's not a seatbelt in the country that'll hold you in the seat when you go across there. I guarantee.
Yeah. Yep.
I will never forget that ride across there. I used to go to Albany sometimes twice a week from Cleveland. It's like, you got to be kidding me.
Oh, yeah.
20 miles an hour is about the best you could do if you wanted to stay in the saddle. Nick wants to know in the chat, who writes your songs?
Well, each song was written by a different person. So if you'd like me to go through all the songs, I don't know off the top of my head who wrote them all, but I can certainly tell you a couple of them. Abso-freaking-lutely was written by, you remember Glenn Campbell?
Oh, of course.
The Rhinestone Cowboy. Well, his band leader, his name was Jeff Dayton, and he was his band leader for 15 years. He actually wrote that song. Recorded it himself, and but I got a copy of it, and he allowed me to record it, and I just fell in love with the song as soon as I heard it.
Oh, you nailed that one, man.
Yeah, that really came out probably one of the best of the 9 songs that we have on the album.
Yeah, Glenn Campbell's a member of the Wrecking Crew, one of the greatest backup bands I think there's ever been.
Yeah, absolutely.
So would you say you have a style? You have these songs that come from different people, and you're obviously going to put yourself into it. Do you think that you've gave that album a particular style?
I want to say I think it's a good mix, only because like Abso-freaking-lutely is probably as rock-related of a song as you'll get on a country album. Better Every Beer is about as traditional as you'll get. There's some slower songs, Made to Be a Country Boy. That's another nice, slow, like authentic country song that has a great pedal steel lead in it. Then you got like Little Red Dress. It's a little bit more pop. It can appeal to some of the people that might not like the traditional stuff. So there's a good mixed bag of songs on there, but I think they all come back to me. You know what I mean?
Like, they've got a Kyle stamp on them, haven't they?
Yeah, and I love them all, and I was honored to have been able to get all these songs that these famous musicians and songwriters have written. Just very fortunate, very fortunate.
Do you... Let me think.
Careful, you'll hurt something.
Donna, I can see the smoke from New York.
I know. You can see the cogs going round, can't you? What musicians do you admire and why?
Wow. Well, I have to say George Strait is probably my all-time favorite country singer. Although I respect the older stuff and the newer stuff, George Strait is just the traditional cowboy singing country music artist, and I just respect him because he stays out of the media. You never hear about him. Right. He keeps to himself. He records and performs great music, and that's what everybody aspires to do. And of course, having 60-something #1 hits make anybody want to be like him. Garth Brooks, he was huge when I started listening to the country music. He was just coming up, so I actually saw him a year ago today up here in New York, and I actually had front row seats for it. So I got to give him a double high five during one of his songs, and he's just one of those entertainers that is timeless. He's 55 or 56 years old, and Garth is still running around the stage like he's 22 years old.
Did you throw your underpants at him? Come on, you can tell us.
I couldn't get him off in time. I tried to.
They're not as sticky as some of those wet girls, though.
You're making the poor boy blush now. What?
We got those two, and I'd say probably old school. I would say probably George Jones, because my dad liked him. I think that he was, he certainly wasn't somebody to model your life after, being the alcoholic that he was and whatever. But George always had a story, and that's what country music's about.
Yes, absolutely.
And then new country. I'm a big Al Dean fan. I think that Jason's probably one of the best artists on the radio today. Luke Combs is certainly up and coming. I can't say enough about how awesome he is. I don't know. I'm sure you've heard of him.
Yep. Luke Bryan?
Luke Bryan, yep. Luke's got some good country songs. He's more in the pop field, which I don't disagree with, because everybody's entitled to record whatever they want, and he's certainly a great artist. But and we do cover some of his songs.
I rate Luke Bryan up there with the Twit. What the hell's her name?
Taylor Swift. I know you love her.
Taylor Twit. I have no use for Taylor Twit or Luke Bryan at this point. And again, that's a personal thing.
Yeah. No, I get it. Luke's got some. He's got some good country songs, but again, I think he's more the pop culture of country is more drawn to him.
Can you dance? Do you get up on stage and dance?
Donna, the last thing you want to see is me dance. I think I can sing.
I guess you look like you need medical attention when you dance.
Yeah, I do not dance. Okay, nobody wants to see that, and I don't let anybody see that. So
what do you do on stage then if you don't play instruments?
Well, I love taking selfies with the crowd. They love it when I come out, and I do try to dance with them, because at the end of the night at 10:30, 11 o'clock, or midnight, or 1 o'clock in the morning, everybody has tied one on, and everybody's dancing. So nobody's going to really remember me dancing. So I do go out with them, and I'll take selfies with them and let them sing the songs, and they really appreciate that.
So you just kind of do the old barroom slop around.
Of course. I really don't know what I'm doing, but at that time of night, Randy, it doesn't matter what you're doing.
Yeah, because nobody else knows either. You're right.
Exactly.
Boy, have I seen that before. All the bars I've DJ'd in, and it's like, after a certain amount of drinks, it's just anything goes after that.
Oh, yeah. Nothing good happens after midnight.
Sometimes nothing
Depends
happens
which way you look at it.
There's been times nothing has happened at all.
Yeah, that's right.
Boring.
So when you're rich and famous in 5 years' time, what advice do you give to your future self?
Ooh. Stay humble. That's about all I can say.
I hope you can manage that. That's a tough thing to do once you get sucked into the music world. If you get sucked down the wrong pipe, I guess, if you will.
And I've never met George Strait or Garth Brooks, but that's one thing I can say about Garth Brooks is that in the concert I saw him at a year ago today up here in Albany, he cried and put his head down in his hands when the crowd was singing his song. And Garth Brooks is probably one of the biggest musicians that have ever come across any genre of music. And for him to get that emotional about the people singing his music just lets you know where he's at. And that's one thing that I respect about him. He's never let go of where he came from.
John Chandler said that you remind him of an old Chesney. I guess he's talking about Kenny Chesney.
Oh, yeah. An older one, huh, John?
He's preparing you for your future already. That way, when you crawl back in that big shiny peat, you gotta look about you then.
Yeah. I think the best thing about have driven a truck before is that if I do, I should say, not when, but if I ever get a call to perform nationally, that I could drive my own truck, because I think I'd probably do that.
You still have your license?
New York did this funky thing with the licenses where they sent out I'm a deputy sheriff up here in Rensselaer County, and they sent out a letter to everybody saying, if you still have your license, we want to know what you're using it for. And, of course, being the honest police officer that I am, told them I wasn't driving anymore, so they revoked my CDL, so now I just have a regular Class C license. But that's one thing that I wasn't very happy about, let's just say that.
Yeah, I agree. They did the same thing to me. I had quit for a few years trying to get my sign business going again after moving to Ohio. And I thought, well, I'll hang on to this, in case I decide, if things don't pick up here pretty quick, I can go get back in a truck, even if it's local for a little while. Well, they did the same thing. You either going to use your license or you're not. No ifs, ands, or buts. No hanging on to it till you get a job. It's like, you better have a job.
Yeah, right.
And that's where the anti-government attitude comes from. It's like, you guys just, how the hell did they ever get to the point where they control everything? Who let them do this? Well, we did, because nobody wanted to stand up for themselves. All these truck drivers that talk about, well, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and do you see anything getting done? No, because there's 5 people wanting to do something, and there's 3 million truck drivers that don't.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are you going to do, Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I'm thoroughly irritated with the way the whole thing's going. It's just, now you can't even just hold the license. I mean, I had a chauffeur's license before the CDL even came out, so you could drive anything. It didn't matter what it was.
Right.
Then they went to the CDL, and then you had to have a hazmat, and the list was freaking endless. And, And then about 8 years ago, it came to the point, it's like, that's it, I'm done. No more.
Mm-hmm.
John says, piss on the FMCSA.
Yep.
Who's going to argue with that, Master Chandler? Nobody. More questions? I know we get off track here, but I just like the bullshit. I've told Donna before, I said, I don't want to talk to these people about their wives and their lives and all the drama. You can go to the Post and get the drama if you want, or go to, country music television and watch all that gaggy news if you want. But I just want to know who these people are and, have a laugh. That's all we're about.
Yep.
Go on, then.
Okay, another sensible question.
From you?
How do you manage your home life balance with your work and your music?
Yeah, it's tough. So I have 3 children. I have a 17-year-old daughter, a 16-year-old son, and I have a 3-year-old daughter. Call me crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, I'm crazy. So we know that, Donna. We've already figured that out.
Did you say 10?
10?
He says a 16-year-old. He said
It
a
sounded like he said in the
17-year-old
beginning, I
and a
have 10 children.
3-year-old. Pay attention.
It sounded like he said 10 children.
Nope, I have 3 children. So
okay.
2 of them are very active in sports, and between my job and my little one and their sports schedule and the band, it's a very tough and very rigid schedule, but I've learned to manage it somewhat. I shouldn't say that I'm the best at it, but I do what I can.
That's all you do is music now? No other job or anything?
No, I'm a full-time deputy sheriff.
Oh, pay attention.
Now, wait a minute. How can you be
full-time?
How can you be full-time and be on the road?
Oh, I'm not on the road
He's
yet.
not on the road.
Oh, all right. Well, I had assumed, your music sounds like you've been doing it for years, and, I guess
Randy,
I was just...
Randy, if I could get, 2 record company executives to think like you, we'd be doing this. I'd be driving to see you when I'm playing in Texas.
Yay.
All right, then explain this to me. Explain this to me. Then why hasn't anybody seen you like that, or what does it take to get to be seen? I mean, this whole Nashville scene is it's out the door. Nobody even hardly wants to get involved with that crap.
You got to be in the right place in the right time, and it's all who you know.
With music like yours.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what I've been told.
I'm not seeing
I've sent my music off to a bunch of people, and, it's just being at the right place at the right time, and you got to have somebody that hears what you're hearing.
Yeah, but if you're a full-time deputy, how do you have the time to be in the right place at the right time?
That's a great question. That's why opening up for these national acts is so important to the little guy like me, is to get noticed. Maybe somebody on their tour might hear us and like us, or, somebody in the crowd that might come out to see a national act might have somebody that they know. Again, it's who you know.
I suppose, man, but, listening to your music, and you say you're opening up for all these big acts, it sounds to me like you're one of the big acts, because, you open up for these guys, you sound just as good as they do, so I can't see what the problem is, so I'm going to have to make some phone calls over here, I guess.
Randy, if you can make a phone call for me, I would really appreciate that.
We'll tell our people to contact your people.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, we'll do lunch.
Yes.
Do you like doing the sheriff gig?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Right now I process all the pistol permit backgrounds for the county, so I'm not working the road anymore, but I did my first 4 years of Midnights, and I did 4 years of K-9, and now I'm in the office doing the pistol permits, and I do love it.
What do you think about, and I don't even want to really get into this because I don't know. Anyways, what do you think about, with what goes on with the officers that are out on patrol nowadays, with the school shootings and all this really ignorant shit that's going on because people are so stupid? Does it scare you anymore now to think about going back out and working the street?
Well, here's the thing. I got hired in 2008, so I've been on the job 10 years, and within that 10 years, this job has changed so dramatically. In 2008, there wasn't really anything going on like there is today with the disrespect and the school shootings and just not knowing what you're going to be going into on a traffic stop. Domestics are out of control if you don't know what you're going to walk in on, on a domestic. And it's just completely changed in the 10 years that I've been on the job. And it's just a different world, and we have to look at it like that.
So would it scare you to go back out on the street if you had to? I don't mean scare you like, oh my God, I'm scared to death, but I mean, would it make you more nervous than you used to be years ago?
Well, you'd have to, you certainly got to not be complacent. You have to just constantly look out and look at your surroundings. And nobody's the good guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everything is going to be, you don't know what's coming up. So you got to always be be on your guard.
So every little nook and cranny, you got to shine that light in there and see what's going on, whether you think you should or not.
That's right.
Isn't that sad that the whole world's going like that?
It is, and it's tough for the officers that are out there today because a lot of times they're being judged by an attorney that's had a year to review the case, where they make a split-second decision that can alter their life or somebody else's life, and it's just sad that they're even put in that situation.
Yeah, I hear you. And from my point of view, or our point of view, being on the other end of the television, in this case, let's say, that you take some guy out because of, he drew on you or whatever the case. From our side, most people look at it and say, well, the officer shouldn't have done this and shouldn't have done that, and I look at it and it's like, if you pull on me, you're done. That's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And, you can put me in prison, you can hang me up, but my ass comes before his does.
Yeah. And,
maybe that's not the right way to look at it as somebody on the other side of what you're doing, but that's how I see it because, if I were a police officer and somebody pulled something on me, whether it was a knife or whatever, I'm going to at least shoot him somehow. I'm going to try not to kill him, of course, but I'm going to try to take him out because it's my ass or his, and there ain't going to be none of that my ass stuff if I can help it,
Right. Well, the whole goal is to go home at the end of your shift, so...
yeah, right.
Take that for what it's worth. And, obviously it's just a bitter world out there right now.
One more thing and we'll get off the police thing.
Sure.
What's your thoughts on the ARs?
I think it's a bigger problem than trying to restrict the freedoms of everybody. I think that there's obviously something else going on, and I think that should be looked at. The mental health issue of it has certainly become a major problem. It seems like the people that are committing these heinous acts all have one thing in common. I know the gun is one thing in common, but there's another thing in common, and that's their mental health. But I don't know. I can honestly tell you, Andy, and John will tell you, when we went to school, we had people that had shotguns in the back of their trucks that were left unlocked, like pulling into the school and just parking in the parking lot.
Sure,
and
nobody said a word.
Walking through the school with buck knives and all that stuff, and nobody said a word about it. There was never any issues.
Oh, I can think of a lot of kids that did that, and hey, where are you going tonight? Oh, I'm going out for deer. I'm going out for this. I'm going out for that.
Yeah.
There was none of this, well, I'm going to go get rid of the teacher because I can't stand her. You take your paddles, you squat in the corner, whatever the teacher made you do, and you get in your truck at the end of the day and go home.
Yeah.
But an AR isn't that just basically a rifle? Not the ones that you can turn into automatics, but I mean just a regular AR-15 without the addition. That's just a rifle, isn't it?
It's a semi-automatic rifle.
Even without the what do they call that thing you can add on there to?
You can make them fully automatic.
So they do come as an automatic?
No, they come as a semi-automatic.
Well, that's what I meant. They come as a semi-automatic, but that what do you call that gadget? I can't even remember now.
Are you talking about the bump stocks?
Yeah, so when you put that on, it becomes a full automatic?
No. That's not what a bump stock does.
Okay, because I don't follow any of that because basically I don't watch the news. I just know what I pick up here and there. But all in all, then it's still a rifle. So what's the difference between the AR-15, let's say, right off the shelf, and a rifle, as far as somebody using it against another person? Is there much difference?
Well, it depends on what rifle you're talking about. One's a semi-automatic, and one is like a hunting rifle.
So a hunting rifle, you have to reload that every shot? No, right. Okay, so I still don't understand the difference between the two that makes it that much of a difference that, everybody wants to ban the assault rifle, but regular rifles are okay.
I think that people think that they're assault rifles with the AR name.
Yeah, so they've been made to believe that's what it is.
Correct.
But they're not really.
That's the issue. They do have a tendency to have a higher capacity magazine, which obviously you can load more ammo into and create more problems. But
well, that's just what I was trying to get to, was the fact that they're really not that much difference, but people are kind of blowing some of that out of proportion.
They are.
Okay, enough of that, because I know that's not what we're here for. But there, anyways.
Nick in the chat room has said, let's get back to music.
Oh, you got all that bloody British music over there. Look, go listen to the bloody Rolling Stones. Yeah, okay. I got a couple questions for you. We'll let you go then, because like I said, I could just, sit here and talk shit all night long.
Babble on all night.
All right.
Oh, I'm so full of shit, it's not funny. Anyways, and also, thank you for your service. Appreciate that.
I appreciate that, Randy.
Okay, let me do these. And Donna's not going to interrupt me tonight because I begged her not to, because I told her I'd throw her in a swamp if she did. Silence!
Ever. The most boring 10 questions.
What is your favorite word?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
What is your least favorite word?
Not sure.
Never heard of that one.
That's 2 words.
What turns you on?
Peterbilt.
What turns you off? And don't tell me a Freightliner.
A Ford. No, I'm only kidding.
Oh, you bastard! All right, what turns you off?
Off? Well, you're putting me on the spot with these, Randy. I'm drawing a blank right now.
That's the idea.
What's your favourite colour? Dan Conley wants to know.
Favorite color is purple.
Good man, good man.
Oh, of course. How about a purple Ford? What sound do you love?
The sound of my daughter.
What sound do you hate?
The sound of my boss yelling at me.
I thought he was going
You've
to
not
say.
heard me start yet.
And that doesn't happen very often.
What is your favorite curse word?
Hell.
What profession other than yours, and you can either use music or police work, whichever one you prefer, what profession other than yours would you like to attempt?
I've always wanted to be a college basketball referee.
Really?
Yep.
That's an odd one.
I played basketball in high school, and I blew my knee out, so I never got to finish my basketball career when I was a senior in high school. So it's always interesting. I've coached my son. I've refereed at like the CYO level, the young level, and I've always wanted to do that.
See, you could have been our new Larry Bird. And also on that note, do you have any hobbies or anything? I was going to ask you earlier. You know, do woodworking or anything like that? Or
I used to years ago. I did. Right now, it's just pretty much with my kids' sports. I don't really do anything other than the band and my job and my kids.
So, being a singing Bobby, do you sing in front of your colleagues?
They always ask me to.
What, and you go all shy and say no?
No, I don't. I'll play them a song on, from the CD. But
okay, since we're still on that subject, kind of, I guess. If they've asked you to sing in front of them, but you don't, okay, I could get that. But now, do you think that you sound as good singing raw or a cappella or however you want to call, whatever you want to call it? Do you think you sound better singing like that or with the band?
Probably with the band, because I'm a big harmony guy. Like, I think that you can be the best singer in the world, but if you don't have anybody harmonizing behind you, it just doesn't sound as good, or it's not what I'm looking to accomplish with my music. But I think I have a pretty good raw singing voice. I mean, I could belt one out. I like doing the national anthem with no music behind me.
Well, I hope you do a better job than Roseanne did. What?
I remember that. I watched that live.
I don't think anybody ever forgot it. What profession would you not like to do?
I would not want to be one of those guys that climbs those radio towers and change the light bulbs at the top of them.
Ooh.
So the planes don't hit them.
I used to climb something close to that. A lot of smokestacks when I was young. I used to cut them down.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, 600, 800 feet. Ugh.
I'm not afraid of heights, Randy, but I'll tell you what. I've watched videos on those guys climbing up, and there's no way.
I didn't used to be scared of them. I'd climb right up there. But now, it's all I can do to get up the ladder.
You and me both.
If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
You're good.
Cool. If you could have a party in the sky with anyone dead, a singer, who would it be?
Probably Johnny Cash.
Oh my gosh, so many people say Johnny Cash.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's a hero. Come on, the dude in Man in Black, man. You can't compete with
I might
that.
have to do it myself one day. See what they're all talking about.
And Donna has one question for you.
Oh, I do. He
You
always
do.
makes me ask this question.
You what?
He does. He forces me to ask this question.
Go ahead, ask him.
If you woke up tomorrow with a vagina, you have 24 hours, what are you going to do with it? See what I mean?
I'm going to go back to sleep for 24 hours.
Are you afraid of the consequences?
And that is a good answer. It'll only get you into trouble.
My standard answer is I'm going to go out and make all the money I can.
Yeah, right?
And hope you don't catch me.
Exactly.
All right, cool. Man, you're all right.
Yeah, not bad, is he?
I guess since I lived up there, I can call you somewhat of a fellow New Yorker, so that's pretty cool.
Well, yeah, we're both Yankees. I mean,
Oh,
John,
yeah.
When I saw the name of your radio program, I was like, okay,
I told Donna that before the show. I said, I got to bug him about being a Yankee.
You mean tonight's show was a Yankee and the Brit show?
That's exactly what it was, yeah.
You're missing some of your Yankee, though, because you're not cussing and swearing like the rest of us do.
I try not to.
Being in your position and with kids, I could understand that, though. So
I have to not do that all the time. As much as I want to, probably more than most people. I just have to watch what I'm doing with that.
I hear you.
45 now, so I'm not, in my 20s, forget about it. It would have been a different story. But
you're an old dear now, so you have to act all old and respectable.
I'm 59 and I still cuss like a sailor. Bastard is my favorite word, too, by the way.
Oh, it is? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ah, you bastard! Donna made me do that. That British accent. Oh, you bloody bastard!
So, John Chandler in the chat room says that he is very proud of you. All right, I get it, John. He's said it twice there.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Johnny. I appreciate it, buddy.
Don't forget he's got that big old black Pete waiting for you.
I know it.
That could be your long black train.
That's right. Well, Josh Turner. Now, Donna, did you say that you watched my music video or no?
I haven't. No, I haven't. I didn't even think to look for some reason, but I certainly will after this show. And if it is that song, I'll find you.
It's not that song, but can I plug that real quick?
Of course.
Oh, go on. I'm just dying to hear it.
So Better Every Beer is the name of the song that we did in country music video.
Oh, all right then.
And it was filmed right up here in Spiegeltown, New York. Produced by the gentleman that produced my album. His name is Eddie Kilgallen, and did a great job with it. We just crushed over 4,000 views on it. And
wow.
Any of your listeners like to take a listen to it? If you like it, we could just ask that you share it with your friends and get it known in other areas of the country where we haven't been heard yet.
Look, he looks like Clint Black.
Oh my God, what's that on his head? He's got a big giant hat on. Is that your giant hat?
Is that my cowboy hat?
I think you should send that to me.
At first glimpse, I saw Clint Black standing there.
Oh, I'll take that.
Check him out, look.
Look at that. No trucker belly. You've been out of the truck too long, son.
Oh my gosh, that girl's about to throw her underwear.
During the music video, there was a lot of close calls on that. You're right.
Oh my gosh, you better duck. She's about to throw him.
Now, are all those girls that are dancing along the stage here, are those all hired, or are those real people from the bar?
You know what, Randy? We didn't pay anybody.
Oh, you cheap bastard.
I know. We got out of it.
They look like they're having a hell of a good time.
They are. And the music actually goes over really well up here. The original stuff, some of it far better than any of the covers that we play, which really surprises me, but it's a really good feeling to know that people like the music. So.
Do you play a lot of cover songs?
Well, yeah, we only have the 9-song album, and we actually play 6 of them right now when we go out and play lives.
That guy's got reindeers on his T-shirt.
He's got reindeers. That's Marty Moose from...
oh, okay.
Not Wally World, but Rocky Boy.
Look at him making eyes at that blonde. Ooh, baby. Boy, look at all the girls in there. How'd you handle all that?
Oh, that's easy. That's every night when we play.
Well, you lucky dog. Look at those guys go, man. They can really bend some strings.
Oh, yeah. They're really good musicians.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch it and listen to it. That's got to be pretty cool. Well, that's all too cool, man. That's awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Randy. It was a pleasure talking with you. And Donna, it's always a pleasure. I hope that your head is feeling better. And I'll be sure to send you that song every day, every morning. You're going to wake up to a text from me, and it's going to say...
I'm feeling the love.
I just bet you are. Well, guess what song we're going to play right now?
Better Every Beer.
We saved this one up. We saved this one up for the end of the interview.
Donna's favorite song.
You're saving it up for Saturday night.
We are.
Yes.
And as long as you're all right with it, we're going to keep using that for our Saturday song until we get sick of it anyways.
Until we get sick of it?
Love that. We would love that.
Oh, we'd love it, man. Make sure you send more people over here. You got any more artist friends or anybody? Send them over. We just like to pick and dig. And
yeah, let me look into that, and I'll certainly be in touch and let you know.
Yeah, cool. And, you're down Texas way. You know where we are. And if you don't know where we are, we'll tell you where we are.
You know what? I've never been to Texas, and it's definitely on my bucket list, and I will definitely look you guys up if I get down there.
Oh, the bucket list. That means he's going to have to eat one of those big hamburgers.
You sing that song, I'll throw my undies at you.
They'll smother you.
If you see a tent coming your way, or a marquee, you know it's me.
That's great. You guys are great.
It is great until you run out of air. And it's not so good.
Savor the flavor.
Hey, you take care of yourself there, young man. We'll see you there over on the other side, eh? Be good, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, buddy.
Good night.
Take care. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yep.
Bye.
The Yankee and the Brit on a country Saturday night. Here's Donna's favorite tune, Saving It Up for Saturday night.